this is Marc with RawNutrition.com. In this video I'll be comparing 3 juicers juicing grapefruit. This is actually like a part 2. You check my first video out. I had a Breville juicer, and in the middle I had the whole slow juicer, and on the end I had a citrus press. So with this video it'll be a little different, using again 3 different types of juicers. The twin gear juicer, the Green Star Elite 5000. I have the single auger masticating juicer from Champion. This juicer here has been around for a very long time, so it's very well known. And I have the Omega 8006. So I'm going to get started with the first one to give you an idea of how it's put together and how the juicing process is done. So with the twin gear juicer, it's basically 2 gears that turn towards each other for crushing, squeezing, and pressing out the juice. The Green Star Elite is the latest version of the Green Star juicers, and it has the new jumbo gears. So these are really large gears, mostly all stainless steel, where the fruit is getting pressed and crushed, and it finishes on the end with nylon. So that's the Green Star juicer. This juicer turns at 110 revolutions per minute. So it's a pretty slow turning juicer. We do have slower juicers nowadays, like down to 43 revolutions per minute. But 110, still I would consider a slow turning juicer. Snap this all back together. Next juicer I'll also be using is the Champion. So the Champion is a faster turning juicer, about 1100 revolutions per minute. Champion juicer has a single auger in the center, and it has teeth on the auger, so you can see here those stainless steel teeth. So it actually grinds and then crushes and presses everything, and everything comes out through the screen on the bottom. The screen on the juicer is here, so the juice actually comes on the bottom just like the Champion. The pulp out the front. So the Champion pulp will also come out the front. Like that one. And the last one here, the Omega 8006, a very popular juicer, very versatile, and you can do a lot with it. So it is also a single auger juicer, but it's definitely slow turning compared to the Champion. When I say this one's masticating because of the teeth, this one's not really masticating, more crushes and squeezes. It does this with a very hard material, a G Ultime material auger. That will, as you push everything in, it'll crush and press the juice out through the screen. I'll lock this back into place. So these openings on the juicers, the smallest one is 1.5 inch round diameter for the 8006. The Champion is a bit bigger. I believe it's about 1 3/4, or maybe even a little more. And with the Green Star, it's more of a square, a little bit bigger than the 8006, but not quite as big as the Champion. So because of the smaller openings, I will have to break up my grapefruits. So I wanted to start off so you can see I have 3 whole grapefruits, are all sized the same. I'm just going to need to break them up into pieces so I can actually feed them into the juicers. I will really have to break these up. In my previous video, I was able, the juicers I had were wide mouth juicers, and I was able to just break them into bigger pieces. Now I pretty much have to pull out each separate piece, so I'll be able to put those into the Green Star opening. Trying to do this carefully, not to waste any juice. These are fresh ruby red grapefruits. So with the Green Star, you do need to apply some pressure. It's not a self-feeding auger style juicer like the Kuving's wholesale juicer that I had in my previous video, where once you start feeding, the pieces generally go in on their own. With the Green Star, you do have to push them in. Actually, with these 3 juicers, we will have to push them in. You'll see the success will vary a little bit between the 3. In this demo, you'll be able to see the results of the juice prepared with each one. I'm sorry I'm doing this while you're watching. Thought it was the best way so you can see my starting point. We'll be able to compare the amount of juice that each machine will be yielding. Okay, so here is my 3 grapefruits, all in pieces, and I do need to put a pulp collecting cup in the front, and we are ready to go. So the Green Star Elite is definitely the most popular now. So I've got the pulp knob on there. With a juice like this, there won't be very much pulp. Most of it is getting pushed through the screen. I am using the fine screen because these 2 other juicers also have fine screens in them. When you start to see some juice build up, you may want to open up a bit so the pulp can start coming out. I am seeing some juice wanting to come up here on top. I chose to leave the fine screen in since the Champion has a fine screen. The Omega doesn't have an option when it has a fine screen. With the Champion you could use a larger whole screen, which would work well with juice like this. Or citrus fruit, I should say, like this. Most people won't mind having some pulp in their juice, and that's what the large whole screen will do. But for the comparison in this video, I thought we should do them all with the fine screen. So we are seeing on the top some juice wanting to come back up, and I did let up a bit here so the pulp would come out. In these 3 juicers, the Green Star is the only one that has a pulp adjusting outlet, so that helps you retain the most pulp inside, be able to squeeze the most juice out of it. And because of that, it can back up if you're trying to hold in too much pulp at a time. It's a nice quiet juicer, unlike the centrifuge juicer I was using in my previous demo. And I'll just move this so you can see the juice going down into the cup underneath. So if I had a larger whole screen, there probably wouldn't be any pulp coming back up here in the feed chute. And I'll just ease this up so I can get the rest of this processed. There you go, our result of juice with the Green Star Elite 5000. Now I'll go ahead and start with the Champion. This juicer does turn faster. Turns at 1100 and a little more than that. Can't remember the exact number, but I think it's 1180 or 1170 revolutions per minute, so it's pretty fast turning. You can see it's a bit louder once I turn that on. With the Champion, you want to feed quickly and consistently, otherwise you will get backing up of fiber too, just like we were seeing with the Green Star. And with the Champion too, with the speed, you want to process quickly and not have your juicer on for too long, as it will generate some heat and start to warm up your fruit or juice or whatever you're juicing. Some of these are easier than others to pull apart. I'll put a pulp collecting cup in the front here, and let's get started. As I mentioned, it is a little louder. I'm getting a bit of vibration on this stainless steel table. So with the Champion, you want to go quickly, just consistently feed is really the best way to feed this juicer. It is making a quick burn getting this process. You're seeing a lot more pulp coming out compared to the Green Star. Show you the juice being collected underneath. And that's it with the Champion juicer. So there's really nothing left in the feed chute. And there you have the juice. You'll definitely see a little more aeration happening here and a little more foam than there. We're seeing a little more quantity over with our Green Star Elite than with the Champion. This is the household model, the Champion 2000. Household. The juicers are identical, the juicing parts are identical, so whether you have the commercial motor or the household motor, you're going to have the same result. It doesn't turn any slower or faster or achieve any better juice yield. It's really the motor specs are different. With the commercial, it's more geared for commercial applications. Perfect. Well, now we'll move over to the 8006. And these are definitely need to pull them all apart into the smallest piece possible due to the small feed chute of 1.5 inch round. Okay, well there we have it. We're ready to go. Get started with the 8006 juicer. You'll make 8006. It's a very popular model, well appreciated. For this particular juice, I may experience some backing up, so I'm going to try to just consistently keep beating it while maintaining pressure on the tube. When you're mono juicing just one fruit or vegetable, like in this case this soft grapefruit, it can have a tendency to back up like we were seeing with the Green Star. But you could maintain some pressure in between and quickly get your auger back down so that fiber does get pushed through the auger. Again, this one is nice and quiet, turning at 80 revolutions per minute, so it's nice and slow. As you can see, it's not really taking any longer to juice than with the faster turning Champion. With a single auger juicer, you'll always have some, once you're done finishing, you'll have some pulp, some residue left in the auger. That's just the nature of the design. You really have to push things through for them to come out. You can reverse and go forward. I find that does help push out a few things, but in this case, I am seeing some fiber getting left in here that I can't quite get out, unless I was pushing more vegetable in more fruit in this case. So there's our results with the Omega. The one note, I'm talking about reverse. So you do have a reverse function on the 8006, and you have a reverse function also with the GSC 5000. You can also reverse. It helps if you have a blockage and let it through, so in the end you can reverse and push that back in. The Champion does not have that function. It really just has forward. Okay. Move some of these things aside. We'll compare the pulp with each juicer. Here's our pulp with the Champion, or pulp with our Omega 8006. So with the Champion, we're already seeing some juice in the cup here. Well, definitely the one that's leaving the most juice in the pulp. It's very moist compared to the others. If I look at the 8006, this pulp is very dry. It feels a little moist, but not at all like that one. And I can't really squeeze anything out of it. It clumps together. This one's very mushy. Still definitely some juice in there. You're seeing maybe a little less yield. I do have a fair bit of foam on top in this kind of mixed foam and juice section here. And with the Green Star, pretty similar to the 8006. There's no juice in the bottom of the cup, and it's not any more moist than the 8006. Seem to be giving the same results. I'll push the pulp aside. Next up will be the taste test. Let's see which one gives the nicest texture. All of them having fine screens, there should still be a little pulp that'll have flowed into the juice. This one's just looking at it, seems to have a lot more pulp mixed in. But let's try it out. We'll also compare color and texture. You can see with the Champion, definitely more frothy. Seems like definitely with the stainless steel blades, it's creating a lot of friction and really like homogenizing that beverage much more than the others. And with the 8006, I can really see it. Very chunky. Lots of pulp. Alright, let's taste them. Definitely having the blind screen on. I have no pulp with this juice from the GSC 5000. With the Champion, also no pulp in the juice. I can't say it feels any warmer. The juicer didn't even get hot at all, not for the few minutes that I did juicing. In my previous video, the centrifuge juicer, I could definitely see the juice had been warmed up. Here it's just as cold as the one from the Green Star. So as far as heat, definitely can't say the Champion for passing 3 grapefruits generated any heat with the juice. And with the 8006, definitely a lot of fiber. A lot of pulp in that one. Now, even though I say it has a fine screen, let me take this apart and show you the 8006. 8006, the screen actually has 2 sections. You do have the fine screen part up front, but also some juice gets pushed out. So when you're doing something like this, some pulp is getting pushed through these larger holes. So that's why we're seeing a lot more pulp with our 8006. So the yield, as you saw, was the same between the 8006. It was really pushing up to 3.5 cups, and our yield was definitely less. It's very hard to measure the yield with the Champion. Although foam was up to the same height, you had the that part that's really not the best to drink, that half foam, half juice, so it's very hard to measure that aspect. So final result, which is my favorite. In this taste test, I'll definitely go with the Green Star. It's definitely nice. There's no pulp. I should try it with the large whole screen and see what that looks like. But there's no pulp yet, there's still a nice texture to it. It's like it homogenized it and mixed it in with the juice. With this one, you're seeing a lot of separation now, even once I've poured it. It again wants to separate juice on the bottom, kind of juice foam, and then foam on top. Not my favorite. I wouldn't say it's the best juicer for grapefruit or citrus fruits in general. If you want something pulpy, definitely the 8006. There's no lack of pulp. I can even see like some skin too gets pushed in through there. So definitely nice. You want a wholesome juice with the most in it, 8006. And if you want a little bit filtered, Green Star 5000. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please sign up or subscribe to our videos here on YouTube and check us out online at RawNutrition.com.